described in the introduction, I described the ACL as a political force, as indeed it is. Well, let's be clear about what kind of political force it is. You're non-partisan, as you should be. No doubt there are ACL members who voted probably for every party in the last election, as it should be. That's not a matter that you dictate or decide. But it seemed to me that you are naturally you have a natural affinity with the conservative side of politics. I mean, what you've just said, preserving institutions, holding on to what is good and building on that, these are fundamentally conservative, or in Australian terms, liberal positions. Is that fair to say that you would naturally align yourselves much more comfortably with a Liberal government that was truly aligned to those values than, say, the Green Party or the Teals?
Well, sure. I mean, we're social conservatives. There's no doubt about that if you're talking in sort of current political categories. And when you have social conservatism, you really tend to have people who tend to be on the more conservative side of the political spectrum. Although there was a lot of people in the Labor Party who were social conservatives for a very long time. And it's really a recent innovation that a number of those have left and that the Labor Party's changed a little bit. But we still enjoy very good relationships within Labor nonetheless. And that is because we are non-partisan in the way we act. We call out bad ideas wherever we find them. And we proved that in the last federal election, where we campaigned against some of the Liberal MPs who voted against religious freedom and Christian schools. We were prepared to do that because we're trying to hold people accountable to good and right principles and principles that are good and right for everybody. And so we'll call it out wherever we find it. And our supporters are also prepared to do that. I mean, we raised a lot of money for that campaign. We had to turn off the fundraiser. People were very prepared to get involved and even hold the conservative side of politics to account. Really what we like to think is that from an outsider's perspective, from a third-party campaign vehicle perspective, what we're able to do is to hold both sides, both major parties accountable to some good social conservative values. And of course, we tend to find more people who naturally align that way in the Liberal Party, although it's certainly not universal these days. However, we find that through our grassroots strength and through the campaigns that we're able to run, there is a pragmatic reason now for a lot of politicians to listen to us in ways that they didn't used to. So I always said from the very beginning of building this movement, I said the reason we need this grassroots activism, we need these people-powered campaigns, is we need to give politicians a pragmatic reason to open the door. We need to give politicians a pragmatic reason to talk to us rather than just a values-based reason, because if it's just that, then we're never going to win in a pragmatic political environment, which is what we're in now. So we will hold both sides to account, but there's no doubt that the values we espouse would be considered socially conservative these days. I will just add this. I do think, however, we're a bit different to some conservatives in that I think we do have a positive vision for things as well. We're not just criticising what's emerging, we actually do have a cohesive ideology, if I can put it that way, or a cohesive philosophy of how things ought to be. And so we do spend a lot of time teaching constructive things, not just critical things.